So I started to reflect, and my awakening happened as I was going through spiritual warfare, which I still currently am going through spiritual warfare. It never ends, you know. It's just that as I evolve and I learn the lessons, I replenish myself. So you'll notice, like around the full moons, like a couple days after, I'll be look depleted and all types of good stuff because these secret societies, witches and warlocks, they do their magic during that time. And so usually every month there's like a full moon. So the last one was like November 6th. So like around that time, around that, like the week after that, I would like my light. You see how I look all shiny? Like I have a light and I'm all like bright and glowing. That's how I usually am. But like when I get spiritually attacked, it uh, it diminishes and I'll get like sick. But then God uses it for me to like also ascend around the same time. So it hits so that I could know the type of spell work that's being done on me. And it also hits so that I could ascend. And so what happens is I go ahead and it's like a retrograde that happens for me where things would come up that still trigger me. And so I have to heal that. So what's being used to like as an attack to attack me. So let's say they send like a suicide spell or a beauty spell, like your ugly spell, like I'm gonna siphon your beauty type of scenario, which they do. It's like the movie in The Little Mermaid. How what was the that lady? I forget her name, but she had the crystal ball and she was like looking through it and like that. It's like in the Disney movies like that. The point is that they do their spell work and it hits and I heal and then I shine again. That's just how it is. Like every time they do something, most likely next month, every month, because they're like obligated to continue their diabolicalness at this point. But it's irrelevant because that's not the point. The point is that I had my awakening because I was being spiritually attacked. And as I'm being spiritually attacked, I didn't have the knowledge about spiritual warfare. I didn't even know that these things existed, that these things were real, and that they worked. And then when I would like bring it up to people, because not only was I attacked, my children were also attacked. So like at one point my baby, he was bleeding from his eyes, his nose, his mouth, and he had blister looking things. And my oldest was like on a suicide mission, and then my daughter was also attacked with like I want to kill myself type of scenario. So like everybody was getting attacked and I didn't know from where. But then like after it happened with my youngest baby, with the baby, that's when I realized, oh, okay. So when it came to my daughter, I already knew like what was going on. And so, well, the point is that we were all getting spiritually attacked, right? And I'm getting spiritually attacked, but I didn't know that it was spiritual warfare, that these things happen and that's how it went down. So as I'm getting spiritually attacked and I'm I'm being targeted in all areas of my life, like at work, at home, friendships, neighbors, everywhere, right? I didn't know like where was it coming from because it was so many people. It was so many people that I was just like, oh my God, what the hell? But then I was guided by the Most High God. I was guided to heal, to forgive it all, to break the soul contracts. And I was taught that Earth was a school and that we come here to learn and that we have soul contracts with the people in our lives, such as like our family, our husbands, wives, children, lovers, co-workers. Before we incarnate here, we meet with the divine and we choose the people who are going to be part of our journey, right? And that the ones that are going to do right by us. But as we are here, they have a choice to not fulfill their contracts, right? So as I'm being spiritually attacked, I am being guided to heal and to not engage. And so I follow directions. I didn't question the divine. I didn't dwell on who was doing what or why were they doing it. I just focused on keeping my mind straight and keeping my children safe and protecting the kids and protecting myself. And the way that I was taught to do that was by healing, by forgiving it all, by breaking the soul contracts. And it was brought to my attention, to my understanding, that forgive them for they not know what they do, because they really do not. They are operating through entities. They have made their vessel available to these entities. And so some of them don't even know that they're being possessed by these entities or that they're being occupied by these demonic forces, hence why they behave the way they behave. So when it came to that, it was easier for me to forgive, for me to not pass judgment. And so I was being spiritually attacked in all areas of my life, and I didn't know where it was coming from. And then I was led to combat these spiritual attacks by not allowing anything to attach to my body. And the only way that I was taught to do this was by like changing my diet, raising my vibration, and not engaging, right? And so with that, I also learned that Earth was a school, right? And so then I came to realize that the same technique that we use to combat spiritual warfare is the same technique that we use to awaken, to remember who we are. So it's the same process. We go ahead and we forgive it all. Remove everything that no longer serves us first. And then we go ahead and we forgive it all. No matter what they did, no matter what we did, and not pass judgment. And so because Earth is a school, we don't pass judgment, because anything that we pass judgment on and we attach to, we don't learn it. It's like we don't learn the lesson. Hey, Jem. It's like we don't learn the lesson. Hey, Jem, you scared me.